So I think I have to break up with the idea of being a good girl. I always saw myself as a good girl, and I always thought that that was really important for my safety, really important for my relationship with God. And it was very much a trap in my mind for a very long time. I wanted to be above reproach. And I think a big part of that comes from ADHD and the amount of criticism people with ADHD tend to get because of all the obvious. And um, one of the things that's really standing out for me right now when I'm thinking about the future is how much our idea of good is shallow and how much that shallowness gives us a false sense of security around, I guess, knowing if we're enough, knowing if we're doing enough, knowing if we are going to be safe, if we're going to be able to have a roof over our head, if we're going to be able to have our needs met, if we're going to be able to have more than our needs met. And I think it's interesting because I was praying this morning and thinking about what I wanted to do for moving abroad or my business. And it's been really difficult because I love the idea of being a good person that's getting good things out of life. I know that's not unique, but the way that I am kind of processing what a good life means is showing that there wasn't as much substance there as I thought. And with the fact that I love politics and I'm watching the news, etc., and really struggling with how I'm going to be able to create that safety, um, where I'm going to find this psychological safety amongst my peers, etc. Um, it's interesting because I think that in order to embrace, I guess, the idea of a happy life, I have to release the idea of what is a good life. Um, and I still am thinking on it. But we're in the upside down now. And the people who are what society has decided are good are people who are truly not being good. They are not being forces for good. They are not materially improving the reality of this world for anyone. They're not doing anything that any of their religions think is good, any of their value systems and cultures think are good. And we still look up to them and we still pedestalize them. And even if we're not doing that initially, divorcing ourselves from what um I wouldn't even say divorcing. Let's give up divorcing. Deciding that good that we romanticized in movies, that good that we romanticized in um, our dreams of what our big happy futures are going to be. It's just really not know. I guess I'm really struggling with it because it's like having a good life no longer is a defined thing. And having a good life for me will make me a bad person to other people. Other people who in my past I wanted to think I was a good person. And I don't know if a good life is a safe life anymore. I don't know a good life is a stable life anymore. I don't know if a good life is a wealthy life anymore. Um, I don't know if a good life is a life with a lot of friends, um, being well liked, being agreed upon and backed by the public as good and therefore safe. I don't know. Um, and so I'm praying and I'm kind of releasing my stuff with God. And I use this framework that comes from the Crappy Childhood Fairy. And um, her name being the Crappy Childhood Fairy seems like it has a lot there, but that's not an indication of anything with my parents. I just love the idea of releasing things to God and kind of not having to intellectualize your way out of things because that usually ends up for me in a place where I don't um, end up anywhere and I'm trapped. But when I release things to God, usually God finds a way to painlessly let it go and I'm over it. I'm onward. Like it's just so much better than trying to figure out how you're going to fix anything. Um, and so I'm really struggling because I'm proud of where I am. I'm proud of how I am asking this question. But I find that it's difficult to figure out what I want the good to end up being, what I think a good life for me, a good world would be, maybe is what's coming up, and how I would show up in that good world. Um, but I don't know. There's a kind of brain fart that keeps coming up when I try to envision what a good person is. Because we can talk about peace, a peaceful life, but peace isn't always good. Um, we can think about justice, and justice is always good, right? It's really difficult to have a consistent justice in a capitalist world. Um, and I think ultimately we try to be kind to other people. We try to do good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to love us for us or we're going to get community from that, um, which is one of our needs, that we're going to get shelter from that, from fed from that, right? because justice is important and good, but justice is often hard to ensure in the capitalist world, especially in this world now where um, people aren't being honest about how they want the world to look. And I guess in a lot of ways, I'm struggling with the same. And maybe it's not that they're not being honest, it's that they don't know. But much like me, right? But it's confusing. It's really confusing. And I guess the reason why it's making me feel stuck is because I don't think that we should really ignore and live a peaceful life in spite of all of the chaos and calamity. I don't know if that is a good life. I don't know if a comfortable life is a good life. I don't know if a well liked life is a good life. I don't know if a safe life is a good life. I don't know if a honest life is a good life either. And so here we are. Those are my thoughts.